The BBC presents The Eye of the Needle by Alan Richards.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. When I grow too old. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, Archie. Oh, all right. Don't bother. I'll have you for that. I'll have you. When I grow too old to dream. Hello.
Hello. At it again, huh? I thought I told you before.
Hello, Bill.
My name isn't Bill.
Archie?
Now, don't come none of that with me.
What topic, sir?
You've been warned. Wheelchair or no wheelchair, hospital or no hospital.
It's a haven of rest for the aged and infirm.
Well, whatever it is, you've been chancing your arm there too long. I shall have to report this to the doctors. By rights, I ought...
By rights.
Now, come on, put it away. Put your tongue with it and all. Sitting here in a wheelchair. You're not 100 yards from the main gate and you're still sitting here. If I caught you once, I caught you 20 times. I got you taped.
Yeah, okay. Hey, hang on a bit. Over there, over the street.
Whoever it is, they don't want to know
No,
you.
listen.
Listen, nothing. Come on, let's get this chair out of the way.
Shut it, you long streak. I know who it is. It's me daughter-in-law.
Come on.
Oh, you long miserable. I know her. She's related. I cut your hands off.
Car's in a scene, we'll put the cap on it. You get that squeeze box in there and can it. Good job I know you, you poor old lady. Now, come on. You don't cut no ice with me. You told me the last time the dogs in the street know me. Hospital. Life you should have had, eh? Life.
Oh.
But if there was a woman's nick on the moor, it wouldn't hold you.
Oh, thanks very much, I'm sure. When they put your screw up, they knew what they was doing. 1,000 quid a year. Oh, that deserves a song, that do. When I grow too old...
Go on, try embarrassing me.
I'll have you to remain... Oh...
Right, in the back way.
When I grow too old to dream, I'll have you to remember.
Oh, Morris.
What's the matter? What's happened?
Oh, Morris, I just had to make sure that she hadn't followed me. Thank God the children didn't see anything.
Mother?
Begging in the streets, right outside the infirmary. I was going down to buy my washing machine, and there she was, no more than a stone's throw away from the hospital, as brazen as ever she was. There was a policeman with her. I was terrified the children would see her. I just grabbed them and went round the corner.
Did she see you?
No, she didn't. I took good care. Anyway, I don't know whether she'd know me after all these years.
She'd know you all right.
Oh, Morris, what are we going to do?
There's nothing we can do.
When we heard that she'd gone in there, that she'd had to go in there, I was glad. I just didn't care who knew. I just didn't care. But it's the children. I wouldn't have them know her. I wouldn't have them go near her, be in any contact.
I know, dear.
I was terrified that something would change you, that you'd weaken, that you... Well, she is your mother.
It was my decision. Still is.
Once you go in there to see her,
No,
just
I won't.
once. Anyway... You got Daddy here.
It's not that so much.
When I saw her today, my stomach turned.
She didn't see you.
I don't think so. She was too occupied.
Well, then forget it. And there's no reason why she should be thinking of us at all.
I'm cold inside. Oh, I couldn't face any more scenes. I wouldn't.
Now, where are the children?
I met Daddy on the way home. He said he'd take them to the park.
He wasn't with you?
No, he doesn't know anything about this.
Ah, well, then nothing happened.
No. You're singing in the street again. That song. People were beginning to stare. I heard her voice, a carriage across the street and through the traffic. I thought... Do you know what I thought? I thought perhaps we could move.
Move?
Couldn't the paper send you somewhere?
But we haven't given her a thought for 2 years. I mean, we moved out to this estate to get away...
I just got into a panic, that's all. Just came over me again, and... Well, I haven't hardened myself to it like you have. She was begging. There were people laughing, too. She must have got over to that pub opposite.
Well, if it was begging, the hospital authorities would put a stop to that. You say there was a policeman?
Yes.
Well, they know her.
Oh, I wish they hadn't mentioned it. I'll get you a cup of tea.
No. I'll get you one.
Oh, Morris.
Now, don't worry, darling.
Oh, there's Daddy. Daddy?
Yes?
You all right?
Fine. There's a boy that John's going to be.
Where is he?
They went, the two of them, over the road for pop.
Oh.
I put them on the crossing.
Yes, I was just thinking it won't be long before they're old enough to go to town on their own.
No, I don't suppose it will. No, indeed, no.
What's that? Begging? I beg your pardon, Doctor.
There's nothing wrong with your hearing.
But I thought you said begging, Doc.
I shall allow the police to prefer charges next time.
There's no corroborating evidence. Who'd give evidence against a poor old... who's that I saw out in the corridor? The fella the copper talked to. Have you got...
That's someone waiting. You can exhaust the patience of those who want to be kind to you.
Kind to me? Stuck here with two old birds like a bug in a box. Who is it?
You've got to learn to be neighbourly. If you share a ward with Mrs. Lane and Mrs. Lewis, you have to realise
That's what I said to them. What's the point of being bad neighbours and not speaking? I've been a bit of an handful all my life, but I never put the freeze on nobody just for the sake of being unpleasant. There's no sense in it.
Mrs. Lane hasn't made any complaint.
No, I haven't. Who's that?
But if you continue to be difficult, you'll have to be moved into B ward.
Well, you don't want to worry about that, sir. It's just, see, I get queer turns. Been like it all my life. My nature's against me. Yes. Who's that out there in the corridor, then?
I've asked someone to come in to see you, to see if we can help you.
Oh, yes? Oh, he's on good terms with the Splits, though, isn't he? The copper knew him all right.
His name's Edwards, and he's a probation officer.
Oh, I thought maybe it was insurance. Oh, you had me worried for a bit. If it's stamps, I said to myself, you got the hope.
It's not stamps. It's nothing to do with the police. It's you.
Me?
Yes. I'm going to ask him to come in now. Only I wanted to speak to you first. We haven't an almoner, as you know, and I've asked Mr. Edwards to come in and have a chat with you. But we're only going to help you if you promise to behave. You must understand that. We understand more than you realize, much more. And I've asked Mr. Edwards to come in because we're going to try and help you see your son.
My son?
Yes. Now, promise you won't make one of your speeches. You've got to promise me that you'll try. Is that clear?
Yes. Yes, of course. I'll try. Of course I will.
Where's Hildy, then?
Mm-hmm. Oh, she's upstairs, lying down for a bit.
Oh.
Had a bit of a headache.
Oh, yes. I thought she was looking a bit peaky this afternoon. She looked as if she'd had a bit of a shock.
Helps her a lot when you take the children out.
Yes. She's a bit of a greyhound, always was. Highly strung, too, like John.
Well, she's been overdoing it a bit.
We live a bit far out from the centre of things here, too far from the cheap shops. They charge you out here for a look.
Girls are not the same as they were. 2 children you got. I was one of 8. Headaches, you said?
Just a slight one.
Doesn't go out so much nowadays. I tell her she ought to go into town more, but never does.
Yeah.
I mean, you and me, we can sit and talk, can't we? Day or night, morning or afternoon, but she's a woman, isn't she? I mean, you or me, we can go to the football. You've got the paper, too. Interesting work, isn't it? We got other things to occupy ourselves with, but these women, they got... see, Hildy's quiet, isn't she? Carries it all inside.
Yes, I suppose.
Headache, you said?
I don't think it's anything serious, Dada.
Oh, you don't? Telephone.
Yes.
Morris!
Expecting anything?
No?
Morris!
All right, Hildy.
Well, whoever it is, it won't be for me.
No, I suppose it won't.
I wonder who
Morris,
on
Lacey?
earth...
Who? No, I'm afraid I don't. Oh. Well, yes. Yes. But now... Oh, all right, Mr. Edwards. Yes, oh yes, I'm in.
Headache, she said. Headache. Headache, my foot.
Well, well, well. Come on, nurse, wheel me down. Hey, he was all right, that fella in there. I fancied him.
Now, don't start the moment you go in.
He was Edwards.
He's a very nice man.
That's what I said.
Now, you remember the promise you made to the doctor. You've got to behave. I'm taking you back to the ward now. Now, I want you to start on your new resolution from the moment you get inside the door.
From the moment you get inside the door, they talk to you like you was wet behind the ears.
Listen, if you want to see your son...
Don't listen me. Listen, I was married to the mate of a coal barge once.
We don't want to hear...
Well, I'm telling you, rare rheumatism done him in. Rare rheumatism, working in water all his life, he said. Oh, he knew water was no good.
Please, they can hear you coming.
Could have been a captain, but the navigating beat instruments and that, couldn't understand them. Oh, yes, he never went deep sea after I married him. You're my blue water, he said.
Here we are. Now, if Mrs. Lane or Mrs. Lewis say anything, just ignore them. I know it's hard, but you must behave. If you don't, it'll be B ward. I don't want to repeat myself. B ward.
Ah.
That's why we're trying everything to keep you out of there. We're all trying. But there are other patients to think of, and one more outburst and...
Oil 'em in any weight, they all know their beat.
Not if you have to be restrained. One more scene and you know what'll happen. We don't want it, but we'll have to. Oh, if only your son would...
Forget it. Do you think...
Yes?
Do you think he'll... Oh, come on, mush.
Now, in the ward, remember. Here we are, ladies. Back from our travels. Afternoon, Mrs. Lane. Afternoon, Mrs. Lewis.
Good afternoon, Mr. Wintle.
Good afternoon, both.
You having harvest festival, are you? All the fruit about?
No.
My son-in-law's been. We've had visitors. They all brought fruit.
Please.
We'll meet the kip then. Come on.
Your tea's on the locker. I put some hot tea cakes for you under the plate. And I hope I won't have to come back here till I go off duty. Everything all right with you two ladies?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Wintle.
I'd just like some extra jam, if I may. It's at the bottom of my locker. My daughter sent it.
I'll get it for you, Mrs. Lane. Ah, yes, here it is.
Oh, thank you.
And Mrs. Lewis? Oh, you've got more material for your paper flowers. Oh, that rose is a pretty one.
It's not as pretty as the last.
Well, I think it's pretty.
Well, my son likes them. I've made such a lot. 22, I think it is.
What do he do with them?
He puts them in a row in his flat.
In a row?
Yes.
A row?
Yes. He's a very orderly boy.
Orderly?
Oh. Well, that is nice. You've got everything now, Mrs. Lane. Yeah. Mrs. Lewis, you're finished.
Yes, Mr. Wintle.
Oh, Mrs. Lacey, you're not eating your tea.
No. Where'd I get them from?
Now, Mrs. Lacey, the diet is specially supervised by the geriatric unit over at the city.
Jerry what?
Geriatric. It's the care of old people.
Well, they don't know nothing about buns. Will they give me compo on my teeth?
Oh, go on. Well, that's everything.
Thank you, Mr. Wintle.
Mrs. Lacey?
Ta.
Fine. Well, cheery bye all.
Cheery bye.
Cheery bye. He's very familiar.
Well,
Much too familiar.
Well, or perhaps.
Of course he is.
Yes, I suppose.
Of course. Well, I must get on with my knitting. I got more wool today. They keep me well supplied. Such lovely quality, too.
It is nice.
Very nice. It's mohair. I'm very particular what I have next to my skin. Now then, the needles. I've never been one to be idle. Not for a second. Here they are. Right.
I can't bear this grub. One can't do it and the other don't want to. Don't want to turn in. No one to have a chat with. Can't have the radio on because of her ears. Not even the racing. Got to behave.
Is everything all right, Mrs. Lacey?
No, I'm behaving. Let's have a look in the money bag, see how I done. 3, 6, 7, 4, 5, and a tenner for a bet.
Pardon?
Nothing.
My daughter was here when you were out this afternoon.
Oh, yes?
I'm going for a trip with them soon. We're going to the Y country.
Oh, yes?
They're very considerate.
Is that so?
Yes, we're going to Tinton Abbey.
Lovely.
Tinton Abbey?
Yes. Have you ever been there, Mrs. Lacey? Do you like trips? I like trips. It breaks the month up.
What do?
Trips.
Oh.
I think I'll have another grape. Do you ever go on trips with your...
With who?
I thought perhaps
What did you think?
I thought perhaps you might have been on trips with your son.
Yeah?
I like the Wye Valley. Do you ever go
No,
on...
I don't.
I just thought you're...
He's abroad.
I thought perhaps as he didn't come...
Abroad.
He's a reporter, isn't he?
No. Journalist.
And your son's an auctioneer, Mrs. Lane.
An estate agent.
Yes, my son knows him.
Who?
Mr. Lane.
Oh, very nice for him too. Trips. The stinking Wye Valley. I wonder if he'll come. That Edwards, I didn't like him. I said I liked him, but I didn't like him. Didn't like his mouth. Too kind. Them's the sort that never get anything. Not with that kind of mouth. Oh, I wonder if he'll come. I wonder if... Oh, them stinking nettles. Behave. That B ward. They put tablets in your milk to keep you down. They give you the nettle too. Oh, nettles. Last chance. Oh, I should have got an echo. Last chance. chance. I didn't like him, that Edwards. All the stinking needles in the stinking Wye Valley. Oh, here she goes, that Laney filling her gut with grapes. Oh, Morris.
I think I'll have another grape. They always bring nice ones at this time of the year. A little bird told me you had a visitor this afternoon, Mrs. Lacey.
Mrs. Lane said...
I heard.
She was asking...
Oh, it was, like.
Yes.
Was you?
Was it a nice gentleman?
What?
She said...
Yes, it was.
Lovely.
Was it yours?
It was Port Welfare.
Port
Welfare?
Port Welfare, yes. Yes, I thought he'd come for bunkering, but no, he said. No, there was a lot of vermin about.
Vermin?
Pests.
In the hospital?
The whole place is crawling.
I don't believe it.
Get away.
It's not true.
It is. It's all the fruit and food and that in your locker. It attracts them, see, maggots.
You're only saying that because
They do come in summer.
What do?
Insects.
Oh, my...
But they do, you just said.
Oh!
When I finished knitting this, I'm going to make table mats for my little grandson. He spilt his orange over the last ones.
I'm sure they'll be very much appreciated.
They are very much appreciated.
Lovely.
They're pressing me to go and live with them, but only specialists can see to me.
Of course.
Ah,
Is anything the matter?
yes. I was just thinking.
Yes?
My husband's brother Jack was a specialist.
Was he really? You never said.
Yes. He went to the Wye country once.
Did he?
Aye, the fool. They nicked him blowing the safe at the Beachley Ferry one August bank holiday Monday. He was a wrong 'un, all right. Got mixed up with a lot of the market boys, he did. Too big for his boots then. He got 7 years in the end. It was just before preventative detention come in.
Jill.
Family of criminals, and you dare compare...
If you don't mind not raising your voice, the Wye Valley ain't your property, you know.
I thank goodness I've better things to occupy my mind.
Ada, then. Earn her trips. Oh, I wonder what Edwards is doing. I've never seen their place. He'll have a couple of sherries. He'll go there. Oh, I had her then earn her sticking fruit. But I've had her before, that Laney. She gets on to the knobs get on to the doctors. Oh, look at her eating. And that other old fool. Oh, them needles. Behave. Be ward. Them tablets. Oh, I can't behave. I can't. Not with them old, them clucking needles.
You see, Mr. Edwards, I'm sure you've come across people who are incompatible, who are just impossible to live with. We tried very hard in the beginning. We're not heartless people. And now we're just not ourselves to think of. There are the children, and we're...
You're naturally concerned about them.
Yes. I think perhaps my mother-in-law, tends to give the impression that she is rather an old rogue, but she has her...
Her attractive side.
But underneath, well, we've had painfully to realise that she can be vicious.
Vicious?
Yes.
We've talked a good deal about it, of course. It's not just the begging and the stealing and the language, but... Well, my husband...
There are a whole chapter of incidents in the past.
I'm sure there are.
For 15 years, Morris didn't see her. When he was 7...
Yes, I'm sure Mr. Edwards can imagine.
At our wedding, she turned up drunk and raving.
We have washed our hands of it.
I'm sure that everybody understands.
Well, sometimes I wonder.
Oh, I assure you. At the hospital, they're not unmindful of
Perhaps.
I was afraid, Mr. Edwards.
the medical superintendent has in mind the fact that your mother is now a very old woman. She's still quite active, however, but if her behaviour in hospital doesn't improve, she'll have to be put on sedation permanently and moved into a chronic ward where she'll be restrained. He thinks that a visit from you...
No.
It might prevent this.
We tried and tried with her in the past. We've been patient, we've been dutiful. We've recognised our obligations and met them. Oh, the fact is we've had enough.
If Mr. Lacey...
There
just
comes a
one
point when a line has to be drawn.
Well, I'm afraid I don't see.
It's not just simply a question of forgiveness on our part. She's harmed the children before. She will talk. She looked for them in the streets. If Morris gets involved with her in any way, it all starts up again. The demands for money, the continued embarrassment. One visit and all the peace we've had these last 2 years will be shattered.
It's very difficult to be a son when you've had my experience of her.
Well...
Don't you understand, Mr. Edwards? She's lived all her life to please herself and nobody else. She never had a thought for anybody else, and now she's alone. Well, she must take the consequences. She's not going to do any more harm to me, my husband, or my children.
Then it's no, Mr. Lacey?
No.
Dada?
Just going for a walk.
All right, Dada. You see, Mr. Edwards, we're not allergic to old people.
No, of course not.
There's something going on in there. They think I don't know, don't understand, but I saw his bag, this Edwards. I saw his collar, black suit. The law? The law, yes. Not the police, though. No glasses. Kind man. Tell by his mouth and the way the lines goes under his eyes. When you get to my age, you can tell by a face. A face don't lie if you're ready to watch it. You got to wait and see. Oh, yes, something going on, I can tell. Money. And other things. I'd better go down to the bank in the morning. You never know. You never know. I'm proud to old to dream. Wish I had a fag. Call this stinking bed. Donkey's breakfast, my old man used to call them. Buried the donkey in this lot. Well, I'm on me jack anyway. They've gone down for the morning weighing down the sister's office. Weighing. Them two old birds weighing. Measuring them up more like. This blasted bed. Where's that paper? There, might do a double. Let's have a look. Chepstow. I've been to Chepstow. The stinking Wye Valley. Busted, here they come.
Thank you, nurse. I can wheel myself from here.
Here she is. And green was my Wally.
Mrs. Lane's talking to the super.
Oh, yes?
I've put on again. I'm up £0.5. Sister said it's to my credit.
Oh, yes?
Reading the paper, are you?
Yes.
My son says it's full of badness going on all over the world.
Not this page, ain't.
Oh, what is it you're reading?
Chepstow.
Oh, I've been there. It's a very pretty little market town. I may go again and my son comes. Next week, if we can get the car.
Oh, Chepstow.
We usually have a salmon tea.
The track, you fool. You been there?
Pardon?
Horses.
Was it crowded? Was there many people there? Was there cars? Did you see the tote, the bookies get the prices? Did you hear 'em cantering along and the shouts?
I didn't even know there was a race course there.
Oh, I've been to Chepstow. I went with Steve Binns when he was thrown out of the forces after the last war. He liked the dogs best, but the dogs is over before you can get your money out. Oh, I can't stand dogs. There's no colour in it. We've got dogs here, there's nothing to 'em. But horses, Chepstow, every trip there's a honeymoon. Chepstow.
Why, I didn't mean to upset you so.
Oh, I'm not upset, love. It's a memory.
Yes, we've all got our memories. They can't take those away.
You betcha. Well, let's have a look at what's going on there today. Miss Dory, Sweet Helen, Little Pickle, Top-notch, Eternal Goddess, Home Straight, Vague. Mary, Vague.
I like Mary as a name.
No, there's nothing there, I fancy.
I believe it's very difficult.
Have you got a mag, have you? You know, with the stars in it.
Pardon?
Fortunes, your destiny, with a column.
Oh, I know. No, I don't think I have.
There's one over there in the Queen of Sheba's locker.
Oh, but I
well, I'm behaving, aren't I? Go on, just a glance. I got a feeling about today.
Well,
Won't have it too, Jits. Look, me hands are clean and all, scrubbed.
Well, all right. Here you are.
Ta. Now then, let's have a deco at the stars. I'm Aquarius, really, but sometimes I sort half and half Capricorn owing to a little difficulty with the birth certificate. Let's look at old Aquarius. Oh, the emphasis is on the home, and you may have to sacrifice some of your usual interests to help another. Oh, not likely. Try Capricorn. Now then, Cappy. An outing or invitation brings many of the older heart-free subjects well within Cupid's range. Oh, indeed. Keep that in mind. Right.
You'd better put the magazine back.
Hush. I'm thinking. Now then. Bishop's Mitre, Nick of Time, Swift Jack, Faultless Peach, Domino King, Step Along, The Caliph, Infidelity, No. Hello?
What is it?
Reclined lady, and it's napped. That's it. Give us a pin, I'll stick it for the double.
Oh, but you can't have...
Hush now. I've got to let the fluence work.
Oh, but hadn't you better put it back?
Oh, bust it now, you spoiled it.
I beg your pardon.
Oh, beg your pardon. You don't want to beg nobody's pardon. You don't. I was just on to a good thing and you come clacking in here.
What a welcome.
Welcome. You deserve a welcome. You do a Turkish farewell, more like it.
Oh, if the doctor only knew half of what you say. Half. If my legs enabled me
There's nothing wrong with your legs. I heard what he said. You can't help being in here, he said. He said it was all in your mind.
That's not true.
Yes, it is. What you kidding yourself for?
Oh, please. Now, Mrs. Lacey was just settling down nicely to a magazine.
A magazine? Why, that's my journal. Here. Don't you dare think of my journal. Here, at once.
No, she wasn't stealing. She wasn't.
Wasn't she? Oh, her son must be earning nearly 2,000 a year. 2,000. And he never comes to see her. They don't want her, and I don't blame them. You had to bring that up. I must insist that my personal property is... I must absolutely insist, Mrs. Lewis, that my...
Shut your finickety withering old mouth.
Ladies, please. I can hear you in the... Mrs. Lane, you're...
Steady now. I shall speak to the hospital management.
Mrs. Lacey, you haven't after all.
Oh, dear sweet, I can't stand it. I can't. See that lady over there? She gets me so that I can't laugh no more. I've always been the one for making the best out of it, but that lady, she goes on about me, but She can talk and all.
I'll complain.
I
I'll complain.
Can't. Oh, why don't he come in and see me? Oh.
I don't see either, Doctor. I don't see why exactly. They're responsible people, but it was obvious. I might have persuaded him. I couldn't persuade her. She... Well, anyway, the answer's no.
I don't know how I'm going to tell her. It's her reaction that worries me.
Oh, why don't they?
People. Come in.
It's Mrs. Lacey, sir. There's been a bit of a shindig.
Oh, dear. She had a good night last night. I thought it was ominous. Well, you'd better bring her here now.
Yes, sir.
Now for it. She's never had to think of anybody else, and now... Oh, she can't dodge any more. She can't dodge anything. She's on her own, completely. And she can't cope with it herself.
What'd he say?
He'll tell you himself.
I can tell by your face. Probation officer. Copper's knock.
Steady, Ma.
Ma. Oh, if only I could see him. Oh, what's the use? Oh.
Three, 4, 5, and 25.
Aren't you going out, Dada?
Do you want me to?
No, I just thought... What are you fiddling with that back book for?
Never mind.
I must get somebody to fix this plug.
Hildy.
No, just a minute. The thing is years old. You can't
Hildy.
expect it's gone... Oh, Dada, please, I'm busy.
Come here.
Dada.
I said here.
What?
Come here. I've got something for you.
What do you...
It's in this envelope. No names, no pack drill. No questions asked. Here you are.
Everett? Oh, it's money.
Yes, it's £100. There's something going on here, isn't there? If you won't tell me, have that. It'll help. I was going to leave it to the children.
Oh, Dada.
Never mind, oh, Dada, take it.
No.
Go on.
No, I can't.
Well, is it the paper? His job?
No.
I knew he was an official, that man Edwards. He didn't have a lamp, but I could tell by his voice.
Yes.
I can smell trouble. It's like gas underground, isn't it? You get a nose for it. Never mind the lamps, never mind the canaries. You sense it before you smell it. It's like a rustle, see, a rustling in the air, a still breeze, a pausing, the dust beginning to pause, hanging in the air.
Oh, Dada, would you like to go back?
Back where?
Home. You're not happy here, are you? Away from your cronies and the club and...
Is that what it is, then? Are you going to move?
No.
Is it hire purchase?
No.
Has he had the sack?
No, it's nothing like that at all.
Is it me, then? Me being here?
If anything happened to you, the children wouldn't...
Well, what's happening to you, then? What's happening to Morris? What trouble is it?
It's his mother.
His mother? You never speak of her.
No.
Well...
she's causing trouble.
She must be getting on.
She's in a home.
In a home? The workhouse?
Part 3 accommodation.
Part 3 accommodation. Her new saddle for an old horse.
And she's begging.
Begging?
Making it impossible for herself and for everybody else.
In the workhouse?
Yes.
You never mention her.
No.
Has she,
She's been vicious all her life. At our wedding, she turned up drunk and raving.
I wasn't there, was I? I was hurt not to be asked.
It was very, very quiet.
And very posh, too, I've no doubt. You bring up a girl and airs, graces, frills and ideas. Well, I was a collier, a hallier. Ahalia was something when I was a boy. Aye, Ahalia. What was she?
She was a bad woman.
Morris's mother?
Yes.
Oh.
She wants to cause trouble. She has before. She'll stop the children in the street one day.
A bad woman, you mean?
Oh, yes.
Well, what does she want now? Money, is it?
No, she wants Morris to come and see her.
Oh.
But I know that's not all. Any contact with her means... Oh, well, he's not going to.
Not going to?
He's decided.
He decided?
Yes.
Not going to see her?
No.
No, you say?
Yes, I say it.
You're hard.
It's the children.
And Morris?
He's learned to.
Learned? Listen, my girl. There's you in me, isn't there? And me in you.
Yes.
And there's her in him, isn't there? Him in her.
No, there's not.
Are you sure?
Yes, I am sure.
Oh, excuse me, I had a red notebook. That's all right. I think it's upstairs.
One look at your face, and he went out quick enough. And he's sure.
He's sure.
Listen to me now. You got 2 children.
And I want to protect them.
2, and they'll grow up and they'll ask questions.
They can ask.
The questions they don't ask are the worst. They're the ones you can't answer. But you've time to get over your mistakes with them. But with me, with her, the time is running out.
Oh, Dad.
You can't move a mountain, and you can't move a clock. You can't go back.
I can't see her.
I said I couldn't have a daughter who wouldn't ask me to her wedding for reasons of side.
Oh, no.
I took food from my box in the mornings. I had water in my jack. Water, not even tea. Was it when your mother died, I asked myself, did I make you do too much as a girl? Was that the reason?
No, Dad.
I had all that day to ask myself. I wanted to know what I'd done wrong. 20 years I've been without saying it.
It was the war. It was so sudden.
Was it me? Was it me, I said. Aren't I good enough? What do you think that woman is saying now? What are you going to say to yourself when you're old and your children...
I won't.
That boy there, your Morris, he's a good husband. He's a good father. But he's a son, too.
She's never been a mother.
You've got to lead him.
Lead him?
Help him. That part of him, that's frozen. You've got to go and see her, the 2 of you.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I thought... Look, is anything wrong?
Yes. Go. Go and see her, my boy. Go, for pity's sake, the 2 of you. Or you'll never forget that you didn't.
Oh, Dad.
Doctor, I have never heard language like it in my life. It's all very well for Mrs. Lacey to pretend to be asleep in her chair over there now, but she can't deny it. She can't deny it, can she, Mrs. Lewis?
Well,
I'm not one to complain, and I do appreciate difficulties, but there are limits, and my patience is exhausted. So I've wired my family, and now I'm waiting.
Of course you can discharge yourself, Mrs. Lane.
It's my mind, Doctor, my peace of mind. I can't for one moment
I'm
more.
sorry I can't dissuade you.
My son-in-law will be here presently with a car. I shall have things to say to him. Mr. Wintle will bear me out. I don't want to be difficult.
Sorry, but if you're sure...
Of course. It is my duty to bring this latest incident to the notice
You must
of the
do as
hospital.
you think fit, Mrs. Lane. Mr. Wintle, I'll see Mrs. Lacey after the visitors have gone.
Yes, sir.
I expect I shall see you before you go, Mrs. Lane.
Yes. Yes.
Very well.
Mr. Wintle, there's something else. Where are my knitting needles?
Oh, haven't you got them?
They're not in my locker.
Well, I don't see them. Perhaps they were packed. Now, Mrs. Lacey, you can't sleep in the chair.
She's been sitting there since she came back from the superintendent's office. She didn't say a word, whatever it was.
Mrs. Lacey. Ma.
Oh,
Oh.
Come on now. If you're asleep in the day, you can't sleep at night.
Oh.
It's all right. The superintendent's gone.
Hey?
He's gone.
Okay. Hey, do me a favour.
Yes?
I knew she wasn't asleep.
What is it?
Put a bet on for me.
Oh, I thought for a minute that you were really sorry.
Come on, I got a good pair.
No, I can't. I've got work to do.
Pair of certs.
No.
Straight up. They walk it.
No, I'm afraid that's one thing they won't do.
Oh. Bust it. Bust the lot of you. You give me the screaming habdabs, the lot of you.
You see, Mrs. Lewis, you see.
Pardon? I've been dreaming.
Look at her. Look at her.
Oh, wrap it up. Where's the old box then? Oh, in the locker. Thought you might have nicked it. Now then. Oh, feeling like that, are you? Come on. When I grow to dream. All good form today. Righto, I'm off then, for them visitors come crawling in.
I said, oh, I know what she's like.
Where are you going?
How can you even speak to her?
Oh, if you go out begging again on top of what you've done.
it.
If you haven't learned by now, Mrs. Lewis.
He was only a man.
I don't want to converse with you.
And you went and grasped.
Oh, dear, dear.
And now old Laney's signing off.
If you go out of the hospital when the doctor's just brought...
Signing off, clean discharge, like me old man had. Conduct very good, wrote on his book for 20 voyages. Don't mean nothing. Don't get you nowhere. Oh, well, I'll have to be sharp to dodge the splits today. Oh, drat this door. Ah, cheery bye all. Cheery bye all.
Oh, dear, dear.
Oh, she's impossible.
She only asked for a lend, just a look at your magazine. It was only to pass the time away, like you were knitting and my flowers.
Oh, but
she can't knit, that's the trouble, and she can't make anything. I tried to get her to, but, well, she's got her interest, just like we have.
She's brought it all on herself, her language.
Just a look at a magazine.
Well, I'm sorry.
A magazine.
I'm sorry.
Well, we've tried with both of them.
Yes, sir.
And there's no alternative.
No.
If we'd had an almoner, it wouldn't have made any difference. I got the probation officer.
I know.
I'd have put her in a cubicle if I could, but there isn't one.
Perhaps now that Mrs. Lane is leaving...
No. If it's not Mrs. Lane, it'll be somebody else. Doesn't matter who it is. There'll always be somebody to set her off.
Yes.
Well, tell them to prepare a bed in B ward.
Yes, sir.
Visitor's bell. That's half the trouble.
I wonder if...
No, there'll be nobody. Here they come. They're all the same hospital visitors, aren't they? You can never match them up with the patients. I suppose it's because they belong somewhere, and people never really belong in hospital. Look at that old man over there now. Who's he waiting for outside, standing there on his own?
Looks as if he ought to be inside.
Yes. Oh, well. Mrs. Lane's visitors, I expect, threatening me with their connections. Go out and tell them I can't see them for 15 minutes.
Right, sir. Can I help you?
We're looking for Mrs. Lacey.
Mrs. Lacey?
Yes.
Oh, you're not Mr. Lacey, are you?
Yes.
Her son?
I'm afraid so.
Oh, she'll be ever so glad to see you.
Where is she?
How is she?
Oh, she's just... Oh, she'll be much better now you've come.
Well, perhaps you'd be good enough to take us to her.
It's down here along the corridor. I'll come with you.
Thank you.
This way. Now they have all their sons. This is a day, this is.
Well, I don't care. I don't care. I've changed my mind, Donald.
But you wired mother-in-law.
I've changed my mind, Donald.
Through here.
She's changed her mind, Mr. Wintle.
I made it up, but then I changed it. You can tell the superintendent we'll all start again.
Well, I'm very pleased. But where's Mrs. Lacey?
Oh, she's...
She went just to a...
She's gone out just for a minute.
Where?
Well, she may have gone to the toilet.
No, I think I know where to find her.
Oh, Morris,
I'll be
you
back.
don't...
But that leads to the street.
She's changed her mind. Oh, isn't it wonderful, Mr. Winchell?
They do have a time here, don't they?
Well, I'll tell the superintendent, but...
You don't think something's happened to her?
Now, don't you worry, Mrs. Lacey.
Mrs. Lacey?
Yes, that was Mr. Lacey who just went outside.
Oh. Oh, well, anyway, I changed my mind.
I should sit down there, Mrs. Lacey. I mean, Mrs. Lacey Jr.
Thank you.
Well, well, well. This is nice.
It is, isn't it?
Now, come on, back you go.
Oh,
I'm watching for you today.
oh, busted. Splits, I hate 'em. You give me the splits.
Come on. You'll do no good out here. I'll open the door for you.
Oh, back to them clacking needles, them clacking voices, that Laney. She swallowed a pickled onion, she looked pregnant.
Now then, Ma. And don't come back, 'cause I'm watching this door.
Ah, and I had a pair of certs. Oh, now it's dark. Hey, you gone and shut the light? Oh, busted. It's no good, I can't see. Who's that? Who is it?
Ma? Ma? It's me. Morris. Well, can't you see me? Here.
Oh,
In front of you. Hey, Ma?
oh. Oh, it's you.
Yes. We changed our minds.
Oh,
Yes.
oh.
Is that all you're going to say? Hilda's in the ward. She brought you some flowers.
Flowers?
Yes, we couldn't think of anything else.
Couldn't you?
No. No, we couldn't.
Ah.
Well, shall I wheel you in then?
Wheel me in where?
In the ward. It's all right, there's nobody after you. But shall I wheel you in? Do you want me to?
Ah, well, who said I didn't then?
All right. Is this the door? They're all the same.
What do you think it is? Course it is. In. Come on, mush.
Right.
That's how I
The whole
did it.
thing became miserable.
Hello, 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 hello. Look who's here.
Mrs. Lacey.
Oh, Mother?
Come on, wheel me in, Murray. My word, there is a crowd here. A couple more, we'll have a raid. Now then, oh, Mrs. Lane, you're still in the kip. Thought you'd slung your hook.
I'm staying.
Oh, busted. Here, boy, wheel me over to that locker.
Is that your son?
Who do you think it is? The bailiff? Open that locker door there. There's something got in by accident and clacking needles.
This one?
That's it, quick. Get 'em out, cluttering up my stuff.
Well, these?
Yeah, ugly old things rusting in the open, so I'll put 'em. Here you are, Laney. Don't leave your stuff sculling no more.
Well, you see, Don.
You're right. Now, that's in order. Now, then, sit down, you two. Hilda, your name is. I almost forgot.
Yes.
Oh, excuse me.
Mr. Lacey's come, Superintendent.
To see Mrs. Lacey?
Yes.
Mr. Lacey, Doctor.
I'll do it. Have you met my boy here, Doctor? He's just come back from abroad.
How do you do? I'm very glad.
How do you do? Oh, this is my wife.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Oh, like a wedding, innit? Oh, sorry, Hildy. Sit down. Now, here. Pass me them earphones. I want the racing. I didn't get it on, but I got a bet. Good double. Retired... What's it? No. Reclined lady.
What was the other one?
Welsh titbit and it's nap too. Come on, Hildy. Chop, chop. I got 2 going for me in Chepstow. Oh, Chepstow. I done meanings, I done similars, I done actors, boxers, days of the week, but the stars is the boys for me. Well, sit down, all of you, pull up a chair, mind them flowers.
I'll put them in a vase.
Right. Chepstow. Now, come on, Murray. Don't stand around like you was all waiting for something to happen, or you was too late for something else. Come on, come on.
Well, I'd better be going.
I thought you would.
Mother.
Chepstow, Chepstow.
Chepstow?
Yes, Chepstow. Can you hear 'em, the old G's? Can you? I can hear 'em. I can hear 'em calling. The punters. Oh, I can hear 'em. I can hear 'em. Here they come. Here they come. Listen, listen. Oh, they're sweet to me, sweet to me. On, boys, nothing's altered, nothing's changed. 6-4 the field. I was going to say they was all I had, but I won't say that. Oh, no. No, indeed, I won't say that. But I nearly... Oh... Who wants to think of anything else when the G's are going?
Oh, Ma.
Yes. Ma. That's what they calls me. And that's what I am too. Ma. Ma.
That was The Eye of the Needle by Alan Richards, with Beatrix Lehman as Ma Lacey. The play was produced in the Welsh studios of the BBC by Emma Humphreys.
This video was uploaded to the channel, Thinking Out Loud. Please like, comment and subscribe to the Thinking Out Loud channel. Thank you.